What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. After Sound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. All right, guys, continuing on with the Rebellion deep dive into the card stats series. This is the water video. Now, I'm going to start with the summoners like I normally do. Zedeka is one we've already seen, so water is going to be paired with the common summoners with death as well as with life. So I haven't really dove into what some of the combos are on the life side yet, but regardless, it's going to be fun, and we'll explore that as we play more and discover the meta. What I do want to focus on is the tactic summoner, which is Profet Rosa. Now, here is a card that I think is really interesting, where you get +2 range to any 2 units, or you get the shield ability to give to 1 unit. Now, there's one card that I'm immediately thinking of that I think is going to dominate with Profet Rosa, and that is Bakjira. Now, Bakjira already has the Void ability. You give him shield, and now he's reducing damage against every attack out there. Combined with heal, right, at least at the gold level, he just becomes an absolute tank. Not to mention, if weapons training is also getting a buff, I mean, this dude is just going to be, essentially like 17, 18 health and getting weapons training regardless of what happens to anybody else in the game, or, to the weapons trainer, I should say. So Profet Rosa is one that I think can have a lot or add a lot of value immediately to the water team. Now, the thing is, the water team is already very powerful in the melee meta, right? There's just so many fantastic cards there. Demon Shark, Flying Squid, Deep Lurker, right? So the ability, like whenever there's like a melee only battle, I kind of run to the Water Splinter and use them, or Water Element, I should say, and use them. Now, even more so, I may choose to go with someone like Profet Rosa, because if I know it's going to be a melee only battle, well, the shield ability is going to definitely help with that, or even if it's just a non-magic battle. So, this is going to be something that I think is going to be interesting to watch, especially with someone like a Demon Shark. Let's say there's a non-magic battle. All of a sudden, you're reducing all the damage to one of the best tanks in the game, in my opinion, which is Demon Shark. So, I think just the shield ability is going to be a fantastic one for the water element. Now, on the flip side, giving +2 range to 2 units is also quite powerful. And when you consider the fact that there's actually a good amount of ranged units in there, well, I guess I'm really thinking of like Murdampir, right? One of my favorite ones that I love using, that has the life leech and cripple. It's, to me, that there's a lot of opportunity. I haven't really explored it as much yet, but we'll see some of the ranged cards here when we go through the rest of the units and see if there's any good combos there. But definitely with Murdampir and some of the other ones, I think that there is definitely some opportunity. Okay, so let's jump in. We're going to go from the bottom up. So we'll start with the common cards. So here you go with a melee tank for 4 mana, 1 speed, 1 damage, 1 armor, and 4 health. Now, we always seem to get like one of these guys every single time that a new set launches. So we had like the Spineback Turtle all the way back in beta. I forgot what was in. Oh, maybe Tortoise and Chief. We had Tortoise and Chief in Untamed. We had Cruel Cethropod, right? So basically just a little league tank that you can put in 4 mana or under. And this guy's no different, right? So he gets the shield ability at level 1. He has the shield ability throughout. That's the only ability that he gets. His attack does not really increase, but his armor and health do over time. So when you're maxed for silver, you're up to 4 and 6 respectively. When you're maxed for gold, you're up to 6 and 8 respectively. And then finally, at the highest levels, you do get that second attack with an additional health. So my thought with this is that he is just a meat shield, and a fantastic one at that if there is no magic in the game. So if you're getting like a little league game or just a low mana game that doesn't have magic in it, perfect person to put in that front spot just to eat up a lot of damage. He's not going to do much himself, but a great meat shield for many scenarios. Okay, let's go to the 2 mana card for the water element now. So this one is called the Dagon Dark Surveyor. So no magic, or so no attack, right? Each of the elements has one of these 2 mana non-attack cards. At the lowest levels, though, you do get the Magic Reflect ability with a health of 5. So, this is almost like getting a, what's that called? A Pellic or Conjurer at level 1. And for the amount of magic that happens, or like magic spam that happens with the water splinter or the water unit, or sorry, water element, I keep wanting to say, you know, it's about time. We need a little bit more magic reflect in the water element. And I love the fact that you're going to get this at level 1 with a decent health. You do get additional health as additional speed in the max for bronze, max for silver. You get additional health as well as the slow ability. So a fantastic kind of support card there. And then at max, right? Max for gold, you go up to speed of 4, but max total, it's a speed of 5. A health of 9, and keep in mind you can get weapons training on this too, right? And then the stun ability. That's why the stun ability is there. So I'm immediately thinking once again someone like Kulu, Headhunter, Swim Hunter, something like that. Whichever one is the legendary Kulu. And I'm sure we're going to see some other weapons training ability monsters in the near future, or as part of this, or neutral. So, this is a card that I think has tremendous value simply from the magic reflect position. If you know you're going to be up against it, throw this card in there, throw an amplify as well, and all of a sudden you do have a counter within the water element. All right, next one. Let's jump into Toren Seeker. All right, so here you go. 4 mana, 2 damage, right off the bat, 3 speed, 3 health. So immediately going back to the summoner, right? The summoner tactics. Here's someone that right off the bat you can give 4 mana for 4 damage in bronze. Has the snipe ability as well as dodge, so makes him a decent back tank. And then what makes this guy really interesting, in my opinion, is makes for actually kind of a decent front tank too. Again, not that you want to put in there necessarily, but he does have the phase ability at level 5. And if you get into a rule set where people can attack from range can attack from the front, then he does make actually a decent tank with the dodge as well as phase ability. So I like this card. 4 mana, at the max levels. It's a decent meat shield too, with 9 health, a speed of 5. You're only ever going to have that 2 damage, but again, you pair him with the right person, someone like Profet Rosa, and boom, he's off to the races. So more of a niche card, but I can see myself using it. And then we have another range card. So this is Sultry Barmaid, speed of 5, range damage 2, speed of 2, mana of 5, speed of 2, and 4 health. Now, the thing with this card is it does have the ambush ability. It's a little slow at 2 speed, but you will get to attack before everybody else, or at least whoever doesn't have ambush, by getting that 2 damage off during the ambush round. Now, maxed for silver, you do get the stun ability, and that could make things interesting because you could stun someone literally in round 1. And then, of course, they don't, even if they're faster than you, they don't get an attack, they don't get a turn in the first round. You go up to max for gold. It's really just an increase in, it's just an increase in the overall health. And then finally maxed, you do get a speed of 4 and a health of 9. So, decent meat shield. I don't know how much I'm going to use this. I do like the ambush ability, but ultimately, I don't know. I'll have to wait and see how the meta plays out. Okay, let's jump up into the rare cards now. So the first one, Anast Soothsayer. 6 mana, 1 magic damage, 4 speed, and 6 health at the lowest levels. Now, you do get the cleanse ability, and in bronze, not only do you get the cleanse ability, but if you jump up to level 2, which is max for bronze, you get cleanse and heal, which is almost giving Murdali Guardian a run for their money, because Murdali Guardian is one of my favorite personal support cards out there. 3 mana with repair and heal. It's very tough to beat. Now, this has a different ability set, right, with cleanse, heal, but then when you get to maxed for silver, you get the lookout ability. This first card we've seen in these videos between Fire and this so far with the lookout ability. So once again, another fantastic support ability, right? The attack is not going to go up. It's going to be 1 the entire time. Speed is going to be the same. You will get a little bit more health as you go up, but the lookout ability is quite clutch. Not only that, you get the dispel ability. So, if for any reason you need to dispel someone, you're going to hit them because it's magic unless they have phase. So, once again, fantastic support monster. And then finally, the dodge ability. Now, the reason I like this card as a support card, because obviously you're going to hide it in the back, right? With cleanse and heal, it's not going to be sitting in the front, but you can put it next to the last spot, right? So if there's six units, you can put it in the 5th spot. The lookout ability is going to help reduce the damage to that 6th and final unit. And then if that unit were to die and there's a lot of sneak attack, the dodge ability comes into play and it actually makes for a decent secondary back tank. So this is a card at 6 mana. It's a little expensive, but with the ability set of heal and heal, lookout, and cleanse, I think it's going to get a lot of usage. Okay, I don't know if I'm saying number, but Pirate of 8, which is the second, rare card that we're looking at. 4 mana, speed of 2, 1 melee damage, health of 2. Now, it does have the reach ability as well as blast. Now, this card, this is going to be an interesting one to see because I think the blast ability, it has reach and blast. Those are the only abilities it gets. So as you rise up the ranks, you will get more melee damage, higher speed, and more health. That's really the only thing that's changing here. So at max for gold, for example, you got 4 mana. You're getting 3 damage with a speed of 3, right? Blast damage, which is fantastic. And then fully maxed out, you're doing 4 blast damage with a speed of 4. So again, I think that this might be an interesting card to use for, certain maybe like Little League or low mana games. I personally really like Tidebiter, so I don't know if this is going to take the place of Tidebiter, but that blast ability is definitely worth considering. And, there might be rule sets where I prefer to use this for an extra mana. Okay, Seaog. Now, Seaog of 8. This is a 7 mana melee attacker, 2 damage, 2 speed, 1 armor, 8 health, and it comes at the base level with Corrosive Ward. Now, this is a new ability where anybody, a melee attacker hits it, they're going to take 2 armor damage and reduce their max armor by 2. So I like the corrosive ward ability. At max for silver is where this thing, in my opinion, gets a little bit more interesting because it does have self-heal and a health of 9, which means that it'll be healing for 3 every turn. At the higher levels, right? So once you're maxed for gold, for example, it does have a health of 11. So if you can find a way to get it an additional health up to 12, right, then it will heal for 4 every turn. The attack at gold goes up to 3. Speed goes up to 3 as well. And then same things for fully maxed out in diamond, right? Damage of 4, speed of 4, self-heal, all that good stuff. So, there's already a lot of awesome tanks in the water element. I will say this though, the fact that it's 7 mana might make it more appealing for like an odds only rule set, because then I can't go to someone like Demon Shark. So if I get a self-heal, decent attack, decent speed, it may be somebody that I decide to go with. Otherwise, I don't know. The water just has so many options, it seems like. Okay, and then the final rare card. We are going to get a 3 mana, 1 magic damage, 2 speed, 2 health, Argorix Magus with Scattershot, my favorite ability. And yes, I'm being sarcastic. So here we go once again with, it's 3 mana, only doing 1 damage. It's quite slow. It's just not doing much for me, right? You don't know who you're going to attack. And then of course they're going to give it the Bloodlust ability. So now maybe you attack somebody that with only 1 health and that you can get away with. But, Bloodlust again, this card, not my favorite. We're gonna zip through it. So at max for gold, still 1 damage, 3 speed, 6 health, Scattershot, and Bloodlust. And then finally at the highest levels, you do get that 2nd damage, which may make this a little bit more interesting for 2 mana. But I'm still just not a fan of Scattershot. Okay, let's jump up to the epic cards now. The first one. This is Thanalan Scion, 5 mana, 1 magic damage, 1 speed. But take a look at the armor. Armor of 10, health of 1. Now, this has Corrosive Ward and Void Armor, so you will have to eat through all that armor first. What makes this potentially interesting is to throw it in as like a back tank, right? Because it's just going to be, I guess you could put it up. Actually, you know what? Never mind. You could put it up front, and whatever kind of melee units that are attacking it will need to attack it are going to have to eat through that. Where this gets interesting probably is going to be equalizer rule sets, because then you could make it actually a decent front tank, and give it some health that way. At the higher levels, max for silver, you do get that second damage there. And then fully maxed out, right? So 40, 46 BCX, you get that third damage as well as True Strike. True Strike you can actually play in True Strike you can actually play in gold at level 5. So yeah, it's just okay in my opinion. I mean, there might be some interesting use cases for it, especially with a lot of the armor repair that's going to be prevalent in Rebellion. But otherwise, I don't know if I'm really feeling it. All right, now here is a very interesting one. Captain Felblade. From the lore, if you're familiar with it, you can see here 8 mana, 2 magic damage, as well as 1 melee damage, and it is a sneak attacker. So it's essentially a double strike, 1 with magic, 1 with melee. Got a decent speed of 4 and a health of 6. Now, at the higher levels, max for silver, it's still the same amount of attack, but you do get an extra speed as well as the strength and ability, so that gives a little bit more cushion to everybody on the team. At max for gold, which is level 5, you do get that second melee attack, and the speed jumps up to 6, and then, of course, at the highest levels, the melee attack actually jumps up to 3. So, I like this card. It's interesting. I also feel like it's a little expensive at 8 mana. I think if this were like a 6 mana card, it would be fantastic. But overall, I feel like 8 mana, it's not going to be something that I run to, even though I love the card from the lore, or I love the character from the lore, I should say. So epic cards were a little bit of a letdown in my opinion. Let's check out the legendary cards. Okay, so Endura Brune, you got a 9 mana, 2 range damage. So once again, Profet Rosa might come into the mix here. 3 speed, 2 armor, and 10 health. So that's at the lowest levels. Now in silver, you got the same base stats, but you do get the silence ability. And this is something that I think we do need to see a little bit more of at the lower levels. So you're seeing the ability for silence. You're seeing the magic reflect with the 2 mana card, right? So there's a lot of opportunity here. Not just that, but you also get amplify, right? So this might be someone who's perfect to pair with the magic reflect, because you're reducing the damage and then still hitting them back for a higher amount. Then at the higher levels, at gold, this is where this card really starts to shine, because it's similar to, what is the name of that card? Phantom of the Seas, I believe, is the one where it had like -1 melee, -1 ranged. Well, now you get -1 magic, -1 ranged. So it's a fantastic support card. Still not doing much in terms of damage, and a little high on the mana cost. But if you want to try and control the game, this is a card that I think has a lot of value. Not only that, you could pair this with Seaog, for example. Seaog is taking less damage, but the Amplify is still doing a good amount of damage back. And then at the highest levels, you do get the swiftness ability, so everybody gets a little bit faster. So okay card. I don't say, I wouldn't run to it the way that I would run to maybe some of the fire legendary cards, but not terrible. Okay, and then 7 mana, you got Dar Dead Blast for 2 magic damage, speed of 1, health of 5, and here you go. This is where you got the weapons training ability, giving off magic at the lowest levels. This also comes with swiftness, so even though he's super slow, he's going to add value at the lowest levels and be a good support card, not just providing weapons training, but also the swiftness ability. He adds to his support value in silver with the triage ability, which is something that, I guess I don't use it as much, or I probably should use it more with a water element, but it's nice to see another I was going to say opportunity, but another option here. And then at the higher levels, you do get that increased damage at max, but at gold, you get the dodge ability. So could make for a decent back tank if that's what you want to do, because then people aren't hitting him as hard. You can pair him with someone who has lookout, and then if he does get hit, for example, he's able to heal himself in the back. So, this is going to be an interesting card. I like the weapons ability kind of buff that we've had so far, or whenever that does go live. So any kind of weapons training card I want to take another look at, and this is one that I think will be fun to evaluate with many of the other non-attack water cards. But that is all I have for you guys in this video. Hopefully you enjoyed the water deep dive. Let me know if you're excited about any cards in specific, or if I missed anything. But that is all I have. Keep an eye out for the next element coming soon. Take care.